I didn't really think about college until like the end of junior year.
That's Anna. We've been following her educational journey from kindergarten.
My name is Anna, and I am 7 years old.
To senior year.
My name is Anna. I'm 18, and I'm a senior this year.
In 2012, former Oregon Governor John Kitzhaber focused on Anna and her classmates in his State of the State address.
Next year's class of kindergarten students is a benchmark. They are the class of 2025. And 2025 is the year we've set to have 100% high school graduation in the state of Oregon.
It was a very ambitious goal. That's why we at OPB decided to document the stories of a kindergarten class on their journey all the way through high school to capture what it's like to grow up in the Oregon education system and all the other life experiences that make us who we are along the way. In all the years we've known Anna, she has never missed a day of school. She gets straight A's. But as you heard Anna say, she never thought about college until the end of high school.
I didn't really think about college until like the end of junior year.
It's a different story for her cousin, Austin, who we've also been following for years.
My name is Austin, and I am 7.
My name is Austin. I'm 18, and I'm a senior at AG&C Nelson High School.
When Austin was little, he thought he would join the military after high school. But then
I think it was around middle school when I found out about all the stuff that actually happens when you join the military and all the side effects that you could get if you were to get deployed.
And so he shifted his path. He started thinking about college and what he wanted to study. That goal the governor set for 100% high school graduation was never just about high school. It was also about college and increasing the percentage of Oregonians with 2- and 4-year degrees. As the class of 2025 gets closer to graduation, we're going to talk about college. Anna and Austin are cousins. They're both Vietnamese. As little kids, they lived in the same neighborhood and went to the same elementary school. But now they go to different high schools in 2 different zip codes. Both are graduating this spring. But how did Austin and Anna's high schools affect their decisions around college? From the Gert Boyle Studio, I'm Jen Chavez, and this is The Evergreen, a podcast from OPB about the place you call home. 13 years after Kitzhaber's State of the State address, that once tall order of a 100% high school graduation rate is no longer the goal.
I know that we had this 40-40-20 goal, but I also looked at the data and I said, what can we achieve in the next few years? And for me, getting to 90% by 2027 seemed achievable.
In the next few weeks, we'll hear 3 unique stories from the class of 2025 students we've been following. Today, the story of 2 cousins, one who started thinking of college early and the other who struggled with post-graduation plans. One cousin went to a high school with more resources and the other with less. For the last few years, education reporter Elizabeth Miller has been following the class of 2025, really getting to know these students. I'll let her take it from here.
Hey, Austin, how's it going?
Good, how about you?
Hey, Anna.
Right now, I'm at Austin and Anna's grandma's house.
Are you grandma?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
It's late March, just a couple of months before high school graduation. Grandma's house is where Austin and Anna spend a lot of time with their homework and their hobbies. During COVID, this is where they did online school.
This is kind of like where I guess me and Anna grew up.
Yeah.
We spent most of our elementary school and middle school days after school here.
I remember doing a lot of drawing. Like, drawings I still have today are from the time I spent here.
This is Austin from 5th grade, talking about spending the summer at his grandma's home.
My grandma, I don't like doing homework, but she makes us do it, but it really pays off for us when the school year starts because we're already used to doing a lot of homework at home. 25 pages in the morning, 25 pages in the afternoon.
Their grandma's in the kitchen, making food as they catch up with Austin and Anna. I first met the two cousins in 2019 when they were in middle school.
7th grade is a roller coaster.
What are the ups? What are the downs?
I mean, school is like, in general, it's like really fun. So that's the up part, but the down part is like having homework and doing projects.
Anna is shy and reserved, but opens up once you get to know her. Austin is pretty chatty and outgoing. Senior year, though, they have one big thing in common: senioritis.
So what kind of student are you, Anna? How would you describe yourself as a student?
So like overall, like I do good in school, but I do procrastinate a lot, especially this year due to senioritis. But like I have straight A's, so it's like I'm doing good enough. Like the strategy works, you know, even though I honestly think it shouldn't.
And Austin, what kind of student are you?
I'd say I'm a pretty typical student. Mostly A's, some B's there here and there, you know. But I typically try my best in each class.
College is not the choice for every kid, but it's something that's been on Austin's mind since middle school. He first wanted to join the military. Here he is talking with my editor, Rob Manning. Rob is the person who started the project back in 2012.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be an aircraft.
So like a...
Land service soldier.
So do you think you might want to be a pilot? Someone who flies airplanes?
And helicopter.
That's cool.
And at the end of sophomore year, things were coming into focus for Austin.
Now I want to first get into engineering, so probably go to like OSU or OIT.
He wants to work with airplanes, to work in the aerospace engineering field for companies like Boeing or Lockheed Martin.
I've always loved airplanes as a little kid, and it's just like, how could I incorporate that into like a way where I would enjoy it while also like making a living?
For Anna, she's always liked math, but art has been a big part of her life since the 3rd grade. It was one of her favorite parts of school.
We don't do art really often, but it's kind of fun.
In high school, she showed work at the art show. She tried her hand at many different media, from photography and calligraphy to drawing and painting. By junior year, she was a teacher's assistant to Maria Galati, one of her favorite teachers at David Douglas.
Anna is just outstanding in so many ways. Incredibly creative, beautiful technical skill, and a willingness to work really hard. And of course, a great sense of design. So she's the total package.
Art came up often in conversations with Anna. Here she is at the end of junior year, talking about the role art plays in her life.
It lets me express my emotions. Like sometimes when I'm in class and I'm bored, I don't know what to do, or like I'm just kind of spacing out. Art's kind of a way to like ground me back into school, or like just like serve as a distraction. Yeah, it's more just like, it's just something fun that I do that helps me connect with people and with myself.
When I'm interviewing Anna here, she's 17.
We're at the end of junior year, and you're 1 year closer to graduating high school.
I'm kind of nervous. I'm not ready to be a senior at all. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, but at the same time, like, I guess here I am. I kind of have to figure it out now, I guess.
When you say don't know what you're doing, do you mean like after high school?
Yes. Well, I guess in both. Like, I don't know what I'm doing next year. I don't know what I'm doing in the future. I don't know what I'm doing for college. So, yeah.
And again, she's a junior. This is a normal response. But I could tell she was starting to feel overwhelmed with all of the upcoming decisions she had to start making her senior year.
You're kind of expected to do a lot of things now. They're expected to like be prepared to be an adult, to go to college, to figure out your career, figure out your future. It's a lot.
Do you feel prepared to graduate and go to college?
I think I'm prepared to graduate, but I'm not prepared to go to college. I think college is like a larger step.
And from conversations I've had with Anna, I think her stress about the future also comes from pressure. Pressure she puts on herself, plus pressure she feels at home from her parents.
I'm Asian, right? I kind of have the expectation to have good grades and go to college and get a good education.
I've considered art like most of like my life, but like it's kind of hard to like become an artist or like want to become an artist because like a lot of my family's against it. Like, they're like, oh, you're not gonna make a lot of money making art.
But now that I'm sitting in Anna and Austin's grandma's living room, I was surprised when Anna told me this.
Up until like December last year, I had like no idea what I wanted to do. Like for the longest time, I wanted to do art, like pursue graphic design. But the problem with that is like I feel like it's like difficult. Well, not necessarily difficult, but I feel like I have higher expectations. I'm expected to like do something more like math related, like STEM related. So like that kind of pressure made me rethink my choices.
She shifted her pathway to engineering after a talk she had with her uncle.
He just like straight up told me like, you should not go to community colleges. Here are some ideas. Like you can be like a pharmacist, you can do engineer, you can be like an accountant. Here's like a bunch of ideas and you need to choose one of them.
Anna and Austin come from families with a lot of cousins, which means a lot of other people to compare yourself to. It's something I understand deeply. Anna's an only child. I am too. I also grew up with a lot of cousins. It may not be on purpose, but it's so easy to think, well, one cousin's a doctor, one cousin's doing this, why aren't you doing this other thing? When I was Anna and Austin's age, I wanted to be on Broadway. My parents supported me until I realized that was not going to happen. But it still felt hard to feel like the choices I was making were the right choices. At a young age, we start to feel so much pressure from others and even ourselves. We want to be great and accomplish so much, and it's clear here that Anna's parents want that. Anna wants that too. But it's so hard to make those decisions when you want something that others may not want for you, like a career in the arts. Or when you aren't sure what you want, and others around you seem to have it all figured out.
For the first like few months of senior year, it was definitely the most stressful because like I had to like make a decision, had to make a choice, and I wasn't really confident in that yet.
Yeah. And how do you feel about that choice now?
Now that I've made a choice, I think that I'm more, like, I have a plan now. Like I have something that I'm working towards, so I feel like I'm not lost anymore.
Anna's decision for the future is complicated, like most things. While she was struggling to figure out what she wanted to do career-wise, her high school, David Douglas, also hadn't really prioritized talking with her about all of her college options and how life after high school might look. That's different from Austin's high school, where he is expected to think about college.
Coming up after a break, how which high school you go to can have a huge impact on what you do after you graduate. Thanks for listening to The Evergreen, our podcast from OPB about the place you call home. If you like what you hear, subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app, and we'll brighten your Monday morning a little bit with something new and exciting to listen to every week. You can also follow OPB on Instagram at OPBphoto, or follow me at Jen Chavez OPB. That's Jen with 2 N's. And I'll keep you posted on what Team Evergreen is up to. And remember, this episode about cousins Anna and Austin and the entire class of 2025 project from kindergarten to graduation is made possible by the support of many thousands of OPB members. It's just one example of what we can accomplish when we work together. Support our journalism by becoming an OPB sustaining member today at opb.org/pod. And now, back to the show.
The parking lot is insane at Nelson. You see so many cars that you're like, wow, a high schooler is driving that? And then you're like, yep, a high schooler is.
This is Austin talking about the high school he goes to, Adrian C. Nelson in North Clackamas. He says it was culture shock for him when he first pulled into the parking lot. The high school is quite luxurious. It's new, only open since 2021. And it's almost like a community college campus. There's a large football field, a track, and there's a bunch of cherry blossom trees lining the school. Austin transferred to Nelson junior year after his family moved. Until 11th grade, Anna and Austin had been at the same school in the same school district every year. We have footage of Anna and Austin walking into school together at the beginning of 6th grade, sitting at the same table doing work on their school laptops. In one of our older interviews with Anna, back in elementary school, my editor Rob had to ask Austin to keep quiet. He was in the same room.
Austin, try to stay quiet. Okay.
Austin went from David Douglas High School, one of the largest and most diverse high schools in the state, to Adrian C. Nelson in North Clackamas, a whole other community serving a very different student body.
The demographic at Nelson is, I feel like, more homogenous than it is at Douglas, whereas like Douglas, you have a lot of people coming from different backgrounds, like, whereas Nelson, you know, considering like the area it's in, most people already like, you know, they're not really struggling like, oh, what am I going to eat tonight? You know, they already have all those taken care of.
Austin still feels connected to David Douglas. He still has so many friends there and connections. When I asked him earlier this year to name 2 teachers who'd made an impact on him, he named 2 David Douglas High School teachers. One of them was English teacher Michael Theophilus.
I had Austin 5th period, which at David Douglas starts at 7:40 in the morning. So it's very early, particularly for 15, 16-year-olds. And Austin, he was a great kid. I really liked Austin. So the fact that he remembered me was actually, it felt really nice.
At David Douglas, Anna says the high school isn't very proactive in helping students plan for after graduation.
There's like a college and career center at school, but I feel like it's not really pushed. It's not really tell people like, oh yeah, here we have a career center, you should come by and like check it out. Like I remember at the end of junior year, my teacher asked me like, has anyone actually been to the career center? And like half the class said no, because we don't really know about it. It's not really like pushed. Like if you pay attention, like you'll definitely notice it. But like if you're not, then like you don't really get much help unless like you go out and like do it.
Honestly, this is not really unique to David Douglas. It's something schools across the state have trouble with. A February report from the Oregon Department of Education found that there's a more than 20 percentage point disparity in the students who want to enroll in college compared to the number of students who actually end up going. The gap is even larger for Black students, Latino students, Pacific Islander students, and other groups. One student quoted in the report says they wish counselors put more work into guiding them about college and scholarships. They said they don't know where they're supposed to start at all. Austin says that's not the case at his school.
At Adrian C. Nelson, they really tend to push the college future. Like, most of my English classes, I remember last year and this year, they're talking about like, oh, a lot of letters of rec, a lot of like college board, how to sign up for FAFSA, just a lot of steps that you would need in order to apply to college. And they hold a lot of like community meetings as well for parents that don't really know how to do it. And it just helps them guide, you know, through the whole process.
Do you feel like it's expected that most seniors will go to college?
Yeah, I think so. They also have a bunch of stuff for trade school as well. So it's definitely, college is definitely an option, but there's a bunch more.
Do you feel like college is like the primary?
Yeah, I feel like college tends to be the primary option after high school for most students at Adrian C. Nelson.
Oregon has hundreds of high schools, all trying to serve their specific student populations. And their needs are different. At David Douglas, the graduation rate for the class of 2024 was 70%. That's lower than the state average. At Nelson, it was 93%. At David Douglas, one of the many goals staff are trying to reach is to get more students to graduate. But at Nelson, the graduation rate is high enough that they can focus on other things, like college. Schools are a reflection of society. It's not just that the goals might be different from one school to another. Income levels are different. Student home lives are different. College-going rates are different too. According to Oregon School District report cards, the college-going rate at Nelson is 59%. At David Douglas, it's 51%, a couple of percentage points below the state average. Anna's academic counselor is Kagan Young. He's been advising students on high school and after high school plans for 9 years.
My role is kind of reassuring them that they're taking the right steps or helping them to filter and take a step.
He's one of 8 counselors at the school, each with an office in the school's main building.
Our main goal as a school is to get kids to graduate high school. And like that feels really important, especially when we're struggling to do that, right? So that feels kind of like a paramount thing.
It's different at Austin's high school. His academic counselor is Hannah Olson. She starts talking with students about life after high school when they're in 9th grade.
It's really more around like helping students have a plan. So
that's okay if it's not college. And Nelson has a lot of resources to help kids think of their future. So we also have a college and career center that's right next to the counseling office. And my colleague brings in different guest speakers, college visits, industry talks, support with FAFSA, all of that stuff. But students aren't required to participate. So they're offered this menu of a lot of different things. And then, of course, it's on the student to plug into it. Mm-hmm. And on the other hand, there's requirements in order to graduate. There's 2 required college and career courses that a student has to take in order to graduate. They even have opportunities for kids to start dual enrollment. That's where a student earns a college credit in high school. All North Clackamas high schools have a partnership with the Sabin-Schellenberg Career and Technical Center, and students can go and take classes to learn how to be a barber or a cosmetologist or become a firefighter or a mechanic or something like that, or a welder. David Douglas also has a career center, but as Anna mentioned earlier, it's not really pushed. The school also offers career education classes, like the ones at Nelson, with options to earn college credits. But Anna didn't really participate in those. Students who participate in those career classes graduate at higher rates statewide than those who don't. But the 4-year graduation rate for David Douglas still has a ways to go.
It does seem like if you've got the high school graduation thing down, or you've got a community that prepares young people to be able to school, right? Because it's all about schooling. Can you do school? And if they can do school, then the school's role is different, right? It's more preparing them for something after. And I think that's the challenge where, I feel like sometimes we have, but here we're really wanting students to be able to do high school so that they can be successful there. Because if you can't, if you're talking about the future and what you might do, but you're not being successful now, that's not a great way to plan without some clear, concrete steps for now.
Things are starting to change. Kagan Young says next year, there's going to be more concrete opportunities for students to explore the future while they're still in high school.
We're going to have some different classes related to high school, college and career exploration class, and a personal finance class. As Oregon standards related to that change, we are changing with that, and I think that will really help students get an idea of what to do. And that's happening in their junior year, where, we were doing this previously, this year, level up to freshman year, right? So they would get their maybe some exploration in freshman year, and then they don't really get anything else after that, which created some challenges.
That's something the state is getting ready to prioritize too. Starting with the class of 2027, current sophomores, students will be required to complete a credit in higher education and career path skills, with standards around workforce readiness, self-advocacy, and career exploration. That's one of the more concrete efforts to get students to think past high school. But then there are the more random ways students start to think about the future, like talking with their friends or teachers. For Anna, it was her U.S. history teacher.
She's a great teacher, by the way. She was for your summer homework, you need to make a FAFSA account, make sure you get letters of rec. She was just preparing us for college, and I think that was really helpful for me to realize, okay, I need to actually do stuff.
These days, high schoolers celebrate their post-grad plans on Instagram. Student councils create pages where seniors can share where they're going after high school, whether that's a college and a major, a gap year, or the workforce. Nelson's and David Douglas's pages both feature students going to Oregon State or Portland State. A David Douglas student is also going to Yale. A Nelson student is going to USC. No matter their high school, there are always going to be students who go on to college. But how are students set up for the future if they don't have family or friends or teachers asking them if they want to go to college or helping them see beyond high school? How does the high school someone attends help set them up for their future? For Anna and Austin, education has always been important. It's highly valued in their families.
I'd say education is really important in my family. They've always pushed us to try our best and, to always strive for that A. And I think it's really helped us. It's really helped me, figure out where my boundaries are and what I can and can't do.
Yeah, I feel like education is a really important part of my life because I know personally both my parents and they've had education, but my mom specifically she only learned until 5th grade, and then she couldn't learn more because of money issues and I know that like my parents want me to do my best whenever I'm learning.
And starting in the fall, they'll both be attending the same school, Oregon State University.
I'm already been accepted to OSU, and I pretty solid on the fact that I'm going.
Yeah, I'm at the same spot that he is essentially. I mean, I only applied for one college, so if I can't really choose the second one,
Austin last year thought he would attend the University of Oregon to study finance, but he realized he couldn't see himself doing that in the long run.
So I just really took a step back, and then I really pondered my decisions, and then I came back to engineering, which I had thought on before. I just didn't know if I was ready for that type of workload, but I feel like I can do it, and I've always liked seeing things being built, especially airplanes. I've always liked airplanes as a kid. Why not give mechanical engineering a shot as well, see if I really like it or not.
And Anna last year thought she would attend community college.
Take the cheap route and just figure things out as you go.
But then, after that chat with her uncle, she landed on a 4-year college and changed her career path from graphic design to engineering.
People say don't turn your hobbies into your careers, because then you start not having fun with that anymore. It's no longer a hobby. It's more what you need to do to make a living.
She says she's thinking about taking an art class in college. Over the years, we've watched these students figure out what they like and who they are. We've watched as these students have balanced the things they love with what they want to do when they grow up, what they want for themselves, and what their parents want for them. It's been bittersweet watching things start to settle this year, both the class of 2025's last year of high school and OPB's last year of this project. We've seen them on the first day of 9th grade, all the way to senior sunrise.
First day of school, senior sunrise, class of 2025. Can you hear me?
We saw them in school plays, senior nights for sports, or at prom, where we got to see Austin get down on the floor and do the worm to Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars. There's been a lot of lasts this spring, including my final interviews with students like Austin and Anna. In these interviews, we have gone from talking about favorite classes or teachers to each student's plans for the future, both professional and personal.
If this is my last interview, I guess I'll just leave a message for myself in the future.
Do it. I love that.
Let's see. Whatever time you listen to this, I hope you're doing what you like, and I hope that you're happy.
I guess there's one thing that has changed since kindergarten is that I'm more able to express myself. I tend to be more shy, and I still kind of am, but this project has helped me talk about myself more and be more comfortable with that, and I feel like that's definitely helped me when it comes to those situations.
This project may have started because of a graduation goal, but graduating high school is just one piece of these students' rich lives. For me, getting to know these students and sharing their stories with OPB's audience has helped us figure out what's behind data points like graduation rates or college-going rates. And though our reporting on these students might end after graduation, their stories won't, and their lives won't. Making decisions about college is the first of many big decisions coming for the class of 2025.
Next time on The Evergreen.
It's a kind of tough time. I had to keep pushing myself, but then after that, I felt like that was my breaking point when I realized my dad was lost.
My feelings about school, they didn't really change. Just didn't feel like it was for me. So I was more looking forward to trying to get a job, start making money, and just do actual stuff that will make me somewhere in life. Because, school doesn't always give you everything that you need.
The students who are not graduating from high school or going to college. Next week, Elizabeth Miller is back to tell the stories of students who aren't graduating from high school, the challenges they've faced in their life that led them to that path, and where they're going next. And then we'll continue our Class of 2025 series and share the stories of the parents who shape us.
He's starting to get it that no matter what struggles I can be like my parents. I can own businesses. I can, own a home and all these things, because we didn't have those things 10, 15 years ago. We didn't have much of anything.
Stay tuned. You can find links to all of OPB's coverage of the class of 2025, including podcast episodes just like this one, in our show notes. Thanks for listening to The Evergreen, a podcast from OPB. Mia Estrada produced this episode, and our technical director is Stephen Cray. The OPB podcast team also includes Julie Sabatier and Sage Van Wing. Elizabeth Miller, Rob Manning, and Mia Estrada did the interviews you heard. The music in this episode is from Audio Network. If you have a question for us, please don't hesitate to reach out. Just email us at theevergreen@opb.org. I'm Jen Chavez. Catch you later.